In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to connect N8N to Supabase. By the end, you'll have a working workflow that inserts data from N8N straight into a table in your Supabase project. We'll start by creating a fresh project and table in Supabase, then switch to N8N to build a simple workflow with a manual trigger and a Supabase node that creates a row. Begin by signing into your Supabase dashboard. On the main dashboard, choose New Project. If you're part of multiple organizations, pick the one you want this project to live under. Give your project a clear, descriptive name so teammates can find it easily later. Next, set a strong database password. This secures the underlying Postgres database. Supabase manages for you, so make it long and unique, store it in your password manager, and keep it private. Then select a region that's geographically close to where most of your users or services are located. Closer regions usually mean lower latency. When everything looks good, create the new project and wait for the setup to finish. Once your project is ready, open the table editor from the left-hand menu. Create a new table. Give the table a concise name and, optionally, add a description so its purpose is obvious to anyone reviewing your schema later. Now, define your columns. At minimum, you'll want a primary key column and then any fields you plan to insert from N8N, like text, numbers, timestamps, or JSON, depending on your use case. Pay attention to data types here. Matching types now saves debugging later. When you're satisfied with the columns, add them and create the table. With the Supabase table in place, head over to your N8N instance. Create a new workflow. To make testing easy, add a manual trigger as the first step. This lets you run the workflow on demand while you're building and debugging. Next, add another node by clicking the plus icon and searching for Supabase. Select the Supabase node and choose the operation to create a row. You'll be prompted to choose credentials. Pick the Supabase credentials you've already set up for this workspace. Make sure they point to the correct Supabase project URL, and use a secure key that has the right permissions for inserting data. Keep keys confidential and never paste secrets into your workflow notes or shared docs. If your table lives in a non-default schema, enable the custom schema option and specify the schema name. Otherwise, the default public schema is often fine. Set the resource to table and the operation to create a row if those fields are present. In the table name or ID field, enter the exact name of the table you created in Supabase. Now define the data you want to send. In the Fields to Send section, add the properties that match your Supabase column names and provide values. You can start with static sample values to verify everything works, then later map values from previous nodes or inputs once your workflow grows. Make sure the field names match exactly, and that the values conform to your column types, numbers for numeric fields, valid timestamps for date fields, and so on. If row-level security is enabled on your table, ensure your credentials have the appropriate role to insert rows or adjust your policy accordingly. When you're ready, click Execute on the Supabase node. You should see a successful response with the inserted row. If you hit an error, double-check the table name, the schema, the credentials, and that your column names and data types align perfectly. Back in the Supabase table editor, you can refresh to confirm the new row appears as expected. To wrap up, you can rename your workflow to something descriptive and save it. From here, you can replace the manual trigger with any trigger you like, webhooks, schedules, or other app events, and map real dynamic data into those Supabase fields. That's the full path from creating a Supabase project and table to inserting data with N8N in a clean, testable way.